A massive new natural gas field has been discovered in Bolivia, marking the country's biggest find since 2005. The discovery could restore the South American country's ailing gas industry and provide much-needed economic relief. Ömer Bakkaloğlu has the story.
In the early 2000s, Bolivia experienced an economic surge thanks to booming gas exports to neighboring countries like Argentina and Brazil. This windfall, however, has seen a stark reversal in recent years. Dwindling gas production from Asian fields, driven by a lack of investment in exploration for new reserves, has left a massive hole in the country's economy. But things might have changed. Last week, President Luis Arce announced the discovery of a massive natural gas field, boasting reserves of 1.7 trillion cubic feet. To put this in perspective, it's enough gas to power countries like Mexico or Italy for an entire year.
It will mark the beginning of a new chapter for the northern sub-Andean region. It offers the hope of maintaining our country as an important gas exporter, driving a second era of hydrocarbon production, and positioning La Paz as a department that is now a hydrocarbon producer.
This is an important milestone that should have been reached years ago. It would have been fantastic to be producing here in Maya already, but we are moving forward now. Better late than never. We are committed to developing this project.
The discovery comes at a critical time for Bolivia. The country recently faced an attempted coup and is grappling with economic crisis exacerbated by a shortage of US dollars. Net foreign currency reserves at the end of 2023 stood at just $1.7 billion. That's its lowest level in 19 years and just 11% of its peak of $15 billion in 2014. Bolivia owes $110 million a year in coupon payments on global bonds maturing in 2028 and 2030. However, it will face a $333 million installment in 2026, posing a bigger challenge to its repayment capacity. In February, Fitch Ratings downgraded the country to CCC from B-, citing dwindling reserves and political instability. While Bolivia navigates these turbulent times, its rich natural resources provide a glimmer of hope. With the world's largest lithium reserves, it stands to benefit from the electric car revolution and the surge in demand for this precious metal. Bolivians can only hope this time their government will make it count. Ömer Bakkaloğlu, TRT World.
For more, let's bring in Latin America analyst Colin Harding. He's also the former Latin America editor of The Independent newspaper. Good to have you with us, Colin. Now, this is a major discovery for Bolivia, given that its gas production has declined in recent years. How might this reserve reshape the country's energy landscape, especially in light of its current economic crisis?
Well, I think the whole thing has to be seen in terms really of the elections, presidential elections, which are taking place this time next year almost. And the president, Luis Arce, is hoping for re-election, but he's having to contend with an economy in the doldrums because, as we've heard, from dwindling gas exports, and also this has been causing domestic shortages, and also political rivals, both in the right-wing opposition and also within his movement towards socialism party, led by his predecessor and rival now, bitter rival now, Evo Morales. And so Morales has been making much of the fact that during his presidency, which lasted until 2019, Bolivia was riding high on world gas prices, and so he's blaming the current recession on Arce, on the current government. So this is very good news indeed, and Arce was badly in need of some good news.
Right, now, what were the key factors that led to the decline in Bolivia's gas production, and how significant was the lack of investment in new reserves?
Well, the current government and the state oil company, YPFB, are blaming the previous government, Morales' government, who said they didn't invest enough in exploration and development. This Maya field, which has now been announced, has been known about since 2022. It's not actually new. This is a bit of news management going on here. I think that this announcement is made now at a time when the president, I say, is very much in need of some good news. But clearly, if it is developed, and it'll take some time yet, and have to be done in partnership between YPFB, the state company, and foreign companies, particularly Chinese, probably. But it could indeed transform the panorama for the economy, particularly for exports in the indeterminate future. But this is a projection which I say hopes will strengthen his position in his struggle to be re-elected next year.
All right, Colin Harding, we'll have to leave it there. Thank